Mr. Gill.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and thank you to the witnesses for coming here and taking the time to have another good hearing on the dangers of mass migration and what ultimately amounts to as a form of backdoor amnesty. Just a second ago, we were hearing from our colleagues on the other side of the aisle talking about the benefits of a TPS system for communities all over the globe, and I think that we need to recenter our conversation and ask what type of immigration system benefits the American people. We hear a lot about, and we've heard in the news recently about the number of Afghanis, for instance, who have come into the United States under TPS or other various forms. And I think the question that we need to ask is, how does that benefit our people? How does it benefit American citizens to bring people in from a part of the globe that is the most backward, perhaps the most backward part of the globe, an area where pederastic rape is considered culturally acceptable, where women are chattel? How does it benefit American citizens to bring these people into our country? We got to ask the same question about other unassimilable aliens who are coming into America. Do we really have an obligation to throw away our cultural inheritance in order to promote some sort of globalist open borders agenda? That is insane. We need to be looking out for our people and not for the rest of the globe. But with that said, happy to jump into questions here. Mr. Fishman, thank you for your testimony earlier. You talked about the legislative history of the TPS program, how the author of the bill establishing it claimed a substantial majority will return voluntarily. And this bill, according to them, provides a mechanism to ensure this result. Has that turned out to be the case?
That has not been turned out to be the case in large measure because in most instances, TPS has just been extended for years, if not decades, so there's never any occasion to test it.
Right.
But when there was an occasion to test it, Chairman Smith, back in the 1999 hearing, asked the General Counsel of the Immigration and Naturalization Service, do you have any data on how many people actually returned when their TPS status went away? How many people you removed if they didn't voluntarily return? The answer was, oh, I have no idea, we don't track that.
Right. TPS was intended to be temporary, at least ostensibly. But we had a 25-year TPS status for Honduras since 1999 due to a hurricane. Similarly, El Salvador was initially designated in March 2001 based on a series of earthquakes. The current administration terminated TPS for Honduras. We still have that status for El Salvador. Right now, I got another question for you, Mr. Fishman. The statute that you mentioned earlier clearly states, quote, there is no judicial review with respect to the designation or termination or extension of a designation of a foreign state. Despite that, we frequently see that open border groups sue to stop the Trump administration from terminating TPS designation, including those that have been issued decades ago. I'm curious if you have any thoughts as to why they've been filing these lawsuits.
Well, they clearly are filing the lawsuits in order to frustrate the operation of the TPS law, which says if the conditions are no longer remaining, it shall be terminated. So I think clearly that is the motivation.
Mm-hmm. Got it. And let me ask you, in January of 2021, there were about 55,000 Haitian TPS beneficiaries in the United States. In January 2025, there were 342,000. That's about a 6 times increase in just 4 years. The majority of these people simply just came into the country illegally. They walked in, didn't have a visa, and were illegally paroled by the Biden administration on a categorical basis, as we understand. And given this sort of alleged legal status, let me ask you, did the U.S. government vet any of these individuals on an individual basis?
They may have looked in databases, but as Rodney Scott, DHS Secretary Mayorkas's Border Patrol chief, said, for events that occurred outside the U.S., we really have no idea. There's no data in the databases regarding those events. So an alien could be a saint, an alien could be a serial killer. Those are his words. We have no idea because there's nothing to look at in the databases.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and thank you to our witnesses for being here today. So, as we've heard, and as we know, U.S. law permits